Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. Well, we did it. We did it. We did it on Friday, right? I mean, the stock market hit that new record high. New record high on the S&P. We broke the old record high of 48.18. I don't know, we reached 48.28 or something. We surpassed the old record. Isn't this great? This is fabulous. We're right back where we were 2 years ago. This is very exciting. A lot of people are very enthusiastic about it. Think about it. We're now headed higher to every day we're going to get a new record that we go up, right? Hurry up, jump in the market, jump in. No, not so fast, not so fast. Now, how come we shot up so fast? How come we're at a new record high? Let's think about this. Okay, the last 2 months of 2023, where there were record buybacks. Record buybacks mean the companies were buying back their own stock, right? And that's not really increasing production. It's just buying back their own stock to make the stock market go higher. This was very prevalent. Now, a lot of people think that the economy reflects the stock market, or the stock market reflects the economy. Now, when I was a young man, the stock market did reflect the economy. We live in some very different times, very different times. Here's the truth. The truth of the matter is, the worse the economy does, the higher the stock market goes. Now, why is that? Why is that? There's only one thing that matters to the stock market, and that's what the Federal Reserve is going to do, or at least what the stock market thinks the Federal Reserve is going to do. So when the economy comes crashing down, the stock market thinks the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rate, and they think they're going to continue to print insane amounts of money. And this makes the stocks go up. So as the economy does worse and worse, the stock market's going up. Now, lately, we've been having all these layoff announcements. Everybody's getting laid off. The more people we can lay off, the higher we can get the stock market, you see, because that's going to mean the Fed's going to have to come in and lower interest rates, and they're going to have to print an insane amount of stimulus money to give to the unemployed people. It's going to be very stock market positive. It's really crazy, right? But that's what they're doing. And then, of course, the Biden administration say, look how good the economy is. Look at the stock market. Stock market's at a record high. We did it. All right. So what we got right now? Well, we had a lot of short covering on Friday. Anytime you get a new record high, people come in and they cover their short positions. And then you get all the stockbrokers calling up their clients. Hey, we're going to new record highs. Hurry up, and new money comes in and pushes the market higher. So I still think we have about it. Well, I'd call it another week. This week will probably end up even higher. But you see, we're at the top right now. People don't get this. People think this is just a breakout. People think we're going to go to the moon. All those moon boys, give me the thumbs up, moon boys. But they think we're going to the moon. It's not the case. I'm telling you, we're topping out. You can tell we're topping out because the HYG is going down as we're making these new highs. The HYG is junk bonds. As those go down, they lead the market usually, and the S&P is making a record high. So there's a divergence between the two. And this tells me that we're getting right up to the top, probably have another week to go. We might get up to what, 4,900? Let's call it. We're not going to see 5,000. We're not going to see 5,000. I'm ruling that out. Just my take. You moon boys think we're going to 10,000. But on the S&P, we're not going to get to 5,000. We may get to 4,900. They may push it up a little bit farther here as the new money comes in, as the shorts continue to cover. We may see that 4,900, but that's where the top is. That's where you want to go the other way. That's where you want to bet the market's going to go down. Just my take. Yours may be completely different. You may be a moon boy. All right, let's move on here. Let's move on. Okay, so I read the articles over the weekend, and we got a couple of articles came out on Yahoo right about the same time, right? Okay, let's start with this first one. Consumers haven't felt this good about the economy since 2021. Consumer sentiment is up 29% just in the last 2 months. This is great. The consumers are all on board. And then right under it, right next to it, an article right next to it said existing home sales slowest pace in 30 years. Well, but consumer sentiment's up high, but the home sales are at the slowest pace in 30 years. These two are not congruent with each other. Why is the real estate market so frozen over? Why? Because it's unaffordable. But Mike, rates came down. Everybody knows that everybody can afford a home now. The rates came down. They went from 8% down to below 7, 6.9. You can get 6.9 and brag to your neighbor who's sitting with his 8% mortgage. All right, well, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, so why are people not buying a home? Would you go out and buy a home right now? If you would, please leave me a comment that you would right now go out and buy a house at these prices. It's not the interest rate. Interest rates are not in a bubble. Home prices are in a bubble, and they're in a great big bubble, right? Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, all right, so you got to find out where people are living. Where are they living? Well, a lot of people are renting right now because they can't afford a house. In California, it's something like 15%, 15% of people can actually afford the average price home. So 85% of the people cannot afford a home. So if you don't already have one, you're going to be renting. What's happening to rents right now? Rents are going down. Very interesting. Very interesting. Why are rents going down? Well, we got 700,000 new apartments coming onto the marketplace. These are apartments. I agree. I understand the difference between a house and apartment. But 700,000 new apartments is just plummeting the rents in the apartment complexes. Okay, because they don't have the people to rent them, right? That can afford the rents. They got people that want to rent them, but these are luxury end things. And apartments are still expensive. I'll agree with that, but the rents are coming down. Okay, now what else is going on? Well, Zillow did a survey. Now, Zillow's fascinating. First, they say that prices aren't going to go up in 2024, but I think they just revised that. We're going to go up by 2% in 2024, according to Zillow. Now, of course, my take is we're going to come down like we've been coming down. We're down about 10% from the high where Billy Bob got out at. I mean, we're still drifting lower. We're not surpassing that high. This is just facts. Okay. Well, of course, your area only goes up, and you're probably double the price that Billy Bob got out at. But overall, across the nation, prices are down. When you take a new construction down about 15%, which is really worse than that because they throw in amenities, they buy the rate down. So it's actually probably closer to 20% down in new construction. Existing homes, they're only down about 10%, but you're drifting lower, and this is going to continue on for several years. It's going to take years to play out, not like the stock market. We can come down in there one day. But okay, so Zillow did this survey of homeowners, and 1 out of every 5 homeowners right now, this is what the survey says, they're considering to not sell their property when they move. They're considering to keep it and rent it out. I have a client like this right now. Okay, so he lives here in the Bay Area, San Jose area, let's call it, and he's moving up to Sacramento area. Okay, so he's moving, but he doesn't want to sell his place because he's locked in at 2.8%. So he's going to rent that out. Now, this is going to be interesting. Everybody thinks it's easy to be a landlord, right? You just get someone to pay you all the money, and it's easy. Nothing ever breaks. They always make their payments on time. There's no evictions. It's very simple business, right? No, I've been in the landlord business for most of my life. Actually, I'm not right now. I sold all the rentals I had. I don't manage any for anybody. I hate that business. It's terrible. And I was good at it. I mean, I knew how to manage properties and how to, get a good tenant. And you get a bad tenant, it is a living hell. I mean, it will make your life hell. But you see, a lot of people think that houses are going to continue to go up, and it's a great business. You buy a house, you put someone in as a renter, maybe as an Airbnb people, and as the house price goes up, you're collecting all that cash flow on that Airbnb money. Oh, wait, a lot of places are outlawing Airbnbs now. Oh, wait, a lot of those Airbnbs are in bankruptcy court. Bankruptcy court, not really foreclosures yet. The people are declaring bankruptcy and the judge is going to rule that the place needs to be sold. It's kind of interesting, kind of fascinating, but they're losing their butt in the Airbnb business is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not really a profitable business right now. So the landlord business is very hard, yet 1 out of 5 people are planning to rent out their house when they move instead of to sell their property. Now, this is going to be fascinating, but what it's going to do is put more downward pressure on the rental business, more downward pressure on the rental business. This is a housing end. Then you're going to get all those Airbnb bankruptcy people. They got 6, 8, 10 properties. They're going to be dumping those. These are houses, usually houses. Some are condos, I suppose, but mostly houses. So you got the rental market in the apartments just going down, and now you're going to get pressure on the housing rentals. Housing rentals are going to be going down in price, right? Okay, so what's going up? What's going up? Home ownership. Home ownership's going up. Mike, I'm locked in at 2.8%. Oh, I got so much equity in my home, and they love that at the county recorder's office. When you get your new tax bill, you see your house went up by 50%. Guess what else went up by 50%? Your property taxes. A lot of places you can't even get insurance now. You can't in a lot of places in California. I have a friend, he lives up in the hills. They're worried there's going to be a fire. No one will insure him. He's self-insured right now. His house burns down. He's out a couple $1 million, maybe $3 million. It's when you're self-insuring, it's dangerous. But the rich people, they can do it. He's very wealthy. He'll survive if his house burns down, but he can't get insurance. He doesn't have a choice. Nobody will even give it to him. But a lot of places, insurance has doubled in price, tripled in price. It's really amazing. I mean, mine only went up like 30% or something. I mean, but it's gone up a lot, right? But in some places that 30% is nothing. They would kill for that kind of insurance. But prices are going up, right? I mean, when your house was $500,000 and now it's $1 million, you call the plumber over to fix the leak. Well, his price doubled also. He doesn't fix that leak in the $1 million house for the same that he fixes a leak in the $500,000. No, there's a tax on it. It's a plumbing tax, right? He charges twice as much. You see expenses go up along with that. So if you're a homeowner, you got your property taxes going up. You got your insurance going up. You got your expenses going up. My goodness, roofs are expensive. When you need a new roof, it starts leaking inside the house. Those things have gone off the chart. I mean, they've easily doubled in my area, easily in the last 5 years. Roofs on homes doubled. So expenses are going up and up and up, right? And people are they're starting to get in trouble financially because they don't have the money to do everything, right? They don't have the money for property taxes, for the insurance, for the expenses, and still go out and buy food, put gas in the car. They just aren't making enough money at their job. Now, maybe they get that raise where their employer gives them twice as much money, but I don't think so. I think a lot of these are the reason as to why foreclosures are starting to spike up. You see, they're the reason why delinquency rates on credit cards are off the chart. I mean, it's just accelerating. Those credit cards, 23%, but that people need money to live, right? And they don't have the money. They can't refinance because they're locked in at 2.8%. Although a lot of desperate people right now, they're taking that 2.8%. They're saying, hey, I still got equity left. I'm going to refinance up here at 7. So they went from 3% to 7% because they're desperate. So the refinancing is actually starting to pick up a little bit. Good news for you mortgage lenders out there. I mean, a lot of people starting to refi out of desperation. They have no money, so they're tapping the equity. Why they can still tap the equity, but that equity is going to start to dwindle. Now, nobody believes this. No, I get comments all the time. Mike, you're crazy. Houses could never go down. It's an impossibility. Look, it's a big giant bubble. Every bubble pops. I'm not saying when it's going to pop. It's probably just grind lower for the next 2 or 3 years. But we're going to bottom out down about 40% from here, best I can tell. We may overshoot that if something really goes bad, like the banking system or something goes bad. We could easily overshoot that to the downside. You see, I actually believe last time in 2008, the houses were the cause of bringing everything down. But now everything else is going to go down. The houses, they're just going to be an effect of that. They're just going to go down when the stock market loses half its value, when the banking system collapses. The banking system liquidity is drying up. Even though people are qualifying to get their mortgage, they're not giving them the mortgage because they don't have the money. The liquidity is drying up. They're just saying, no, we're not making loans right now. So people are having a little bit of hard time to actually get financing on houses now. Now, of course, not in your area. You got rich people probably paying all cash. I mean, that's a possibility, right? Well, anyways, if you like this stuff, give me a thumbs up. Why not? But we did it. New record high on the stock market. I'm waiting for about that 4,900 level on the S&P, and then I'm going to take my shot to the short side. I'm Tall Mike. Get out there, enjoy the day, but punch the subscribe button first. Bye-bye now.